Hello everybody and welcome back to Level 30 Games. We have a banger of a good time today as we take a look at Super Mario Party and see if it's worth rolling the dice on. I hate that I made that joke, but stay tuned for more. Super Mario Party is the 11th game in the series that has been around since the Nintendo 64, but not all parties have been created equal. Thankfully, we don't need to know much about the series' lineage to enjoy this iteration, but if this is your first ticket to a Mario Party, here's what you need to know. Mario Party plays out like a board game with each character rolling dice to move across the board in order to exchange coins for stars. Naturally, it wouldn't be a very Mario-esque party unless Nintendo littered the board with various traps, spaces that do way more harm than good, and spaces that are downright cruel. At the very end of each round, you'll partake in a competitive minigame with a chance to win coins. After the predetermined amount of turns, a winner is crowned, whoever has the most stars and coins. The boards have variety but play kind of similarly, and sadly there are only 4 to choose from. However, each one is crafted to get the most out of your time there. A newcomer will have fun, and as a series veteran, I quickly took to exploiting parts of the board for my gain and developing the best strategy to screw over my competitors and ensure a victory. I think the biggest thing Super Mario Party does right is to cater to gamers of all skill levels. There is a level of strategy that could be formed, and I'd imagine a game between 4 experienced players would be pretty cutthroat. On the flip side, inexperienced gamers will have fun with a more relaxed game that leaves things to skill as well as to fortune. I gathered some friends to help write this review, and we ranged from longtime veteran gamers to casual gamers to what button do I press. We all had a great time, and a lot of the games left us screaming, laughing, or in one case almost peeing their pants. It's not me, I promise. Outside of the traditional Mario Party mode, there are a few other game modes as well. Partner Party has 2 teams of 2 that play together, meaning they share resources, it's coins and stars, as well as dice rolls. Instead of the traditional routes of travel in party mode, the paths are removed to allow for some free-flowing party action. This was a nice divergence from Party and added some higher stakes to dice rolls as you needed to land specifically on a space to utilize its benefits as opposed to just passing it. River Survival throws 4 players together in a raft to paddle down a river to reach the end before time runs out. You need to avoid rocks and hazards, but can hit special balloons, triggering minigames, and winning those minigames results in more time being added to the timer. This was a fun way to have everybody play in the same team with a common goal, but still have the fun of giving the underperformer a hard time if they pull your rank down a little. There are some smaller game modes like Soundstage where you collectively do a series of rhythm-based games. This was fun once, well twice, but some of the motion controls used were a little hard to figure out if we were doing correctly. I can see younger kids having fun with this mode a lot. Toad's Rec Room got a lot of publicity for allowing the mix of multiple Switch screens to the experience. I didn't have a chance to play this personally as it requires another Switch and a second copy of the game. Other media outlets have praised the tech more than the actual game, so it sounds like a nice experience, but nothing long-lasting. Seeing as how I didn't have any personal experience with it, I didn't include it as part of my overall assessment of the game. Lastly, you're able to take the game online, but sadly that is very underwhelming. Going online presents you with a rotation of 5 minigames that you can compete in to see where you rank against others around the world. I guess this is nice, but the admission of an online game of party mode with friends in different places is out of the question for some reason. And maybe with good cause, as couch co-op here is a blast, but the option would have been nice to play with others online. But that's also where the game shines the brightest, on the couch, in the same room with 3 other players. With 80 minigames, there is always a great variety of things to play, none of which so far have been, I would consider, a dud. Some are simple while others require more skill. The motion control games with a crowd were always a blast because of the banter and the yelling that the crowd contributed. The fact that you can practice the game beforehand without needing to load it a second time is a huge plus, especially when playing with people who haven't played before or are less skilled. This evens the playing field when introducing new players to the game against those who have played a lot. Level 30-wise, it's a tough one. A 10-turn round of party mode, which is probably the most common way to play, takes about an hour, and that's a fair amount of time, especially if you were playing with a group of friends. You can turn the amount of turns up to prolong your play, but I feel like an hour is about right. That being said, I think you need to be realistic with how you intend to play this game. Solo, it's a hard recommendation, and it doesn't feel like the type of game you play in handheld mode by yourself. I think this is the type of game you know you'll end up playing mostly at home with the family or friends, and if that you need to bring your system to somebody else's house, the Switch makes that easy to do. A good Mario Party game should be a staple in everybody's Switch catalog, and thankfully with Super Mario Party, Nintendo has righted the ship on a series that has made some bad choices in the last few entries. There are the occasional totally by luck or chance moments during a match, but this isn't the type of game you should head into that seriously. It may not be a game you play all the time, especially solo, but with a good crowd, you're guaranteed to have a blast.
Finish!
Well, that's all for this episode, ladies and gents, so thank you for watching. I'm not really sure what's next. Maybe Starlink, maybe Dark Souls. All I know is my wallet is looking a little light, so time will tell. Either way, I'll see you in the next level.